Welcome back to our grade 9 maths lesson. I am Mrs. Rea, your grade 9 teacher. Okay, in our last lesson, we looked at solving equations, which is part of algebra. And in today's lesson, we are going to look at factorizing. Okay, what is factorizing? Factorizing is actually grouping algebraic terms to simplify those terms. Okay, let's look at the rules that we are going to use when we are factorizing. We have done directed numbers and we have looked at the rules of multiplying directed numbers. Okay, we will be basically looking at multiplying of directed numbers in factorizing. So I'll go through the rules first. Okay, when we are multiplying directed numbers, we know that positive multiplied by positive is always equal to positive. Negative multiplied by negative is equal to negative. Positive multiplied by negative is equal to negative. I made a mistake. Negative times negative is equal to positive. Positive times negative is equal to negative, and negative times positive is equal to negative. Okay, let's look at the first example. 7b plus 14c. How do we factorize 7b plus 14c? The first thing that we do is to find the factors of each expression in these algebraic terms. What are the factors of 7b? Okay, we have 7 times b plus, what are the factors of 14c? That's 7 times 2c. Now, if we look at this expression here, we can see that 7 is common to both terms 7b and 14c. So 7 will be the highest common factor, which will be outside the bracket. Then we find the numbers or the factors that goes into the bracket. 7 times b gives us 7b, so b comes here. There's a plus sign here, so we put the plus sign here. 7 times 2c gives us 14c. So when we have factorized 7b plus 14c, it becomes 7 outside the bracket times b plus c. Let's prove to see if 7 times b plus 2c will give us 7b plus 14c. Okay, 7 times b gives us 7b plus 7 times 2c gives us 14c. So 7 times b plus 2c is correct because when we expand this factorized form, it gives us 7b plus 14c. So that is the correct factorized form. Let's look at the next example. In our second example, we have negative 4m minus 8n. We have negative 4m minus 8n. We'll have to find the factors of 4m and 8n. Okay? We have negative 4 times m gives us negative 4m. And there's a minus sign here. Negative 4 times 2n gives us negative 8n. Now, how do we factorize this? We know from this, positive times negative gives us negative. So, this has to be positive because positive times negative will give us negative 8n. So, we now have to factorize this. When we factorize this, we can see that negative 4 is common. So, negative 4 comes outside the bracket and we see what goes into the bracket. There's a plus sign here, so we must always put that plus sign there, because we know that that positive multiplied by negative will give us negative here when we expand the bracket. Okay, so negative 4 is the highest common factor. What comes into the bracket now will be taken from here. So 4 times, negative 4 times m gives us negative 4m. Therefore, m comes here. There's a plus sign here. Positive times negative gives us negative. And here we have 2n. Okay. Now, let's see if we are going to get negative 4m minus 8n when we expand this bracket. Negative 4 times m gives us negative 4m. Negative 4 times positive 2n gives us negative 8n. So, when we expand negative 4 times m plus 2n, it gives us negative 4m minus 8n. Therefore, negative 4 times m plus 2n is the correct factorized form of negative 4m minus 8n. Okay, let's look at example 3. Example 3, we have 3 terms, and that's negative 6m plus 12n minus 3. Again, we are going to look at its expression, and we find the factors of its expression. If we look at 6, 12, and 3, they are all multiples of 3. So we are going to simplify them by multiplying each expression by 3. So let's look at negative 6m. Negative 6m, factors of negative 6m are negative 3 times 2m. Okay, negative times negative gives us positive, so this one will be a minus sign. 12 factors of 12n are 3 times 4n, and negative times positive gives us negative. Therefore, factors of negative 3 are plus 3 times 1. Okay, now we are going to find the highest common factor. We already can see from the expressions that the highest common factor is 3. But it's going to be negative 3 because we cannot multiply 2n by positive 3 because it will not give us negative 6n. Therefore, we have to have negative 3 as our highest common factor. So, negative 3 comes outside. Okay. Negative 3 times 2m gives us negative 6m. Okay. There's a negative sign there. Negative 3 times negative 4n gives us positive 12n. And we have negative 3 times positive 1 gives us negative 3. So, when we have factorized negative 6m plus 12n minus 3, the answer that we got is negative 3 times 2m minus 4n plus 1. Let's see if this can still give us the same expressions that we have at the top when we expand them. Okay, so we have a proof here. In mathematics, we always prove to see if our answers are correct. Okay, so we have negative 3 times 6 times 2m gives us negative 6m. Negative 3 times negative 4n gives us positive 12n. And negative 3 times positive 1 gives us negative 3. So, negative 3 times 2m minus 4n plus n is the correct factorized form of that expression that we have. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson, and we see you in our next lesson. In our next lesson, we are going to look at solving equations of algebraic expressions.